This is Wize Shabazz of Wize Shabazz Xtreme Fitness, continuing to bring you guys the best inspiration, the best motivation, anything that's going to get you guys in the gym, keep you guys working out, and make you guys the best possible yous that you can possibly be. I'm sitting here with one of my favorite people in the world, my boy, my friend, my coach, brand new IFBB Pro Bodybuilder, Fred Smalls. How you doing, Fred?
How you doing, Wize? How's everyone doing out there?
Everybody's doing well, man. We want to hear what you got to say, man. In fact, I'm gonna tell you something, man. Like, you know, I've been getting a lot of messages, a lot of things, people saying that they know that I know you, that I work with you, and they're like, you know, Fred finally got that pro card. He finally went out and did his thing. Tell the people just what you did this weekend, man, just so people that don't understand bodybuilding know what's going on.
Oh, you know, every year the best bodybuilders in the country get together and compete in the NPC National Bodybuilding Championships, and we're all shooting for one thing, that's to become an IFBB Pro, which stands for International Federation of Bodybuilding, which is the largest entity in bodybuilding. It's kind of like the NFL of bodybuilding, basically. And this weekend I accomplished my dream, my goal of winning the national heavyweight class, and I won it with unanimous first place votes, and so it was a dream come true.
Now here's the thing. When I talk to people, I talk to a lot of people about success, about goal accomplishment, things like that. They always tend to focus on that moment. You know, that moment like when you were on that stage and they gave you that trophy and you knew you won, or the moment when, you know, the famous, you know, songwriter finally gets that record deal. They want to focus on those things. But most of us know that it's not just that moment. That moment is just like it's the culmination of a lot more hard work. So what did it take for you to get to that level where you can stand on that stage and become a pro? Like, was it an easy walk?
No. I've been at this for quite a few years. Everything from my foundation when I was a teenager doing powerlifting to coming back to the sport and just rededicating myself to live the lifestyle. I mean, if you're going to be the best at whatever it is you're going to do, you have to live the lifestyle. One of my inspirations is actually Kobe Bryant, and I say that because, you know, he's been through a lot of different struggles, but, you know, one thing is consistent. He's always practicing, trying to be better, and it translates on the court where he's the best basketball player in the world. And for me, it's not just, you know, 4 days a week or you know, in the gym an hour here, an hour there. It's 24/7, understanding my goal, what I eat, the way I train, the way I sleep, and putting myself in the right atmosphere so that I can stay focused, so I can accomplish that one ultimate goal, is winning that title.
I think you said something very key, and the word is lifestyle.
Right.
I recently read the book by Malcolm Gladwell called Outliers. Mm-hmm. And in the book he's talking about the statistical outliers, people that go above and beyond the normal scale of any given situation.
Right.
And one of the things he says that on average, he says an average outlier puts in a given 10,000 hours into whatever it is they're trying to accomplish before they become an outlier, before they become successful. Right. And most people aren't willing to even imagine what it would take to put in 10,000 hours, but it has to be a lifestyle, like you said.
Yeah, and you know, I think a lot of people are held back by this one simple statement: when the time is right, when the situation's right. And anyone that's achieved anything of great success is going to tell you there's never a right time. There's always going to be an obstacle that jumps in your way. There's always going to be something telling you you shouldn't do it right now. There's always going to be a reason for you to take a break. And the thing is, you just got to push past that. If the goal is big enough, the facts really don't matter. You just do what it takes to get to that goal. And, you know, you try and balance everything else around it. But the goal, whatever goal it may be, there are always going to be distractions to pull you away from that goal. You just have to be mentally focused enough and stay disciplined to the trail that's going to take you to that goal.
Now, one thing that you did, and I was telling a lot of my friends about this, man. I stopped you in the gym. We were working legs. It's not this time. He just killed me on legs, by the way. That's why I'm like, I have no energy right now. But we were working legs, and you had your knee was bothering you. Mm-hmm. And the first thing I noticed, you said, "Oh, my knee's hurting. I gotta go work this out in order to get through this exercise." Mm-hmm. So you went from one machine to another machine, trying to work your knee out, and you went from there to another machine trying to get back and finish that exercise. And most people would actually see that their knee hurts, that's an excuse to stop. So what is it inside of you that makes you say, I've got to continue, I've got to make this work, I'm not gonna let this normal speed bump that would be a brick wall for somebody else stop me from getting to where I gotta go?
I would say that it's all mindset, because there was a time when I was training, back in the early 2002, 2003, when I was training for shows, where that would have stopped me and I would have went and sat down. But I think sometimes the greatest push to success is disappointment. You get on stage, and for me, I got on stage and I was so close. I got on stage and you hear someone say, you would have won if. And there's nothing worse than being in that moment and knowing, had I pushed through maybe an extra 5%, had I not eaten this one thing, or had I just went to sleep a little bit earlier, or not went to that party, and those little things, they just make such a big difference. But the disappointment of not hitting your goal is so large that, a little pain in my knee is not really anything compared to the disappointment of not accomplishing the dream.
Now, you got something that you say, and I know it's your motto, man, and I love it, man. And I want you to explain that to people. And you say, focus plus discipline equals results. Can you talk about why you chose it as your motto and what you particularly mean by that?
Well, there's a very successful multi-level marketer named Xtreme, and he always said, if the dream is big enough, the facts don't matter. And to me, that's where the focus comes from. Because, if you focus in on something, you want it bad enough, then it's about just finding the path. And once you find the path to get there, it's about being disciplined enough to stick to that path. And that's what I said earlier, but there's always going to be distractions. There's always going to be things to pull you away. But if you're disciplined, the result will be there. And the other part of that is perseverance.
Now, you train a lot of bodybuilders.
Right.
And I'm sure you see people on both sides of the scale. Some people who actually, go out there and they're very, very successful. I'm sure you have other people that go out there and are not as successful. In doing that for as long as you've been doing it, have you identified any traits that you think are the key traits that separate success from non-success? Because I know you're not just a bodybuilder, you're also an entrepreneur, successful businessman, you're a father, you're a husband. You do a lot of things. What are the traits that you see in your line of work that separates the successful from the people that are not successful?
I don't know what exact trait, what you would call it, but what I see is the ones that are really successful just don't make excuses. If they've stepped in my office and they wanna win, they just do what I tell them to do. They're willing to let me lead, and they just follow. There's not a whole lot of questions. There's not a whole lot of, well, what if this, what if that, substitutions, anything. It's just, I tell them to do it, and they do it. And I'm extremely educated on how to eat, how to train, but I hired my coach, and I don't question it. If he tells me to do it, I do it. And every once in a while I might ask him questions so I can understand it. But most of the time, whatever he tells me to do, I do. And it's just because I put my faith and my trust in him, and I go for it. And that's what I would tell anybody is, if you're trying to develop and build a successful restaurant, you'd be a fool to follow me because I've never done it.
Right.
But if you know someone who is a successful restaurant owner and he tells you do it this way, why would you question it?
Right.
If you've never done it, just follow it. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't work. Well, if you do it without, do it with no knowledge, it's probably not going to work anyway.
Right. You don't lose anything.
Exactly. So you're probably following someone that's done it successfully and has a good track record, you're going to learn something. So, but if you don't do it 100% and you do make shortcuts, and here's the perfect example. I train you for whatever competition, or I'm getting you ready to drop, 10 pounds or whatever, and you're fixing your child lunch, and you go, one chip's not gonna hurt me.
Right.
That happens 90% of the time. That 10% are the ones that don't do that and they win. Okay? And it's the same thing in life. 80% of the people follow the same cycle every day. 20% of the people are extremely successful. I think who you put yourself around and surround yourself with has a lot to do with that. Because, you know, if in life, if you put yourself around a person that's a step below you, which a lot of people do because it makes them feel better,
Right.
then it takes away that drive to strive for excellence.
Right.
So what I try and do is surround myself with people that are doing something a little bit better than me. You know, and that way I'm trying to catch them. You know, even because it's nothing wrong with being satisfied with your accomplishments. Happy with your accomplishments. I mean, you gotta always take a step back and thank God for what He's already blessed you with, and be thankful for what you have accomplished. But the minute you become totally satisfied with that, then you become dead.
Right.
To pursuing anything beyond it. So I think the other saying that you got to say to yourself on a daily basis is, I'm happy with what I've done, but I'm not satisfied. Well, I think a lot of that is, and I see it especially in women. And it's a shame because, that's why I love this sport of bodybuilding. I take a female that's in her mid-30s, she's pretty much forgotten about what's important to her. She's all about her family and her kids. She hasn't even thought about herself in years. All of a sudden, she puts the focus on herself. She's vibrant again, full of energy again. Is starting to look at herself as a female again and not just mom, not just Mrs. Whoever, Jones, for lack of a word.
Right.
That is huge. And what happens is, mentally, you're alive again. Your spirit, it comes alive again. Like when I won the other night, I felt like I was 18 again. How many times do people get to experience that in life? Most people don't, right? So, because people at a certain age, I think at 35, 40, you stop going after dreams. You kind of sit there and go, well, this is my life. So I would tell people, pick out a goal, no matter what age you are, and go for it. Yeah. No matter what that goal is. It could be they have clubs and championships for everything. And whatever it is, go for it.
Now, can you do me one favor, man? I after watching this, I know a lot of people are going to want to know where you are, how to get in touch with you. Can you just tell the people about your business and how to get in touch with you if they want to get in touch with Fred Smalls and want to get themselves back? And especially I know a lot of women, because I talk to a lot of women, and they're constantly saying they've lost themselves in their lives and they want to find themselves. And you just gave them a golden ticket to find themselves. So can you tell people where they can find you at, man?
Well, we're above and beyond Physiques. We're located 807 Churchman Center. That's in Newcastle, Delaware. We do online training, we do in-home training. We have a staff of trainers that's unbelievable. We have women, we have men, from all different backgrounds. And, our main thing is developing the best you. Whatever your goal is, we're going to help you go above and beyond that. And, I think there's no cookie cutter approach in our programs. We take each individual, look at their individual needs, and we customize the program to fit their needs, their lifestyle. And one of our other mottos is, you eat more to lose more. So don't worry about coming here and I'm gonna starve you. You're not gonna come in here and get chicken rice. It doesn't work like that. We take each individual and we tailor the program to meet their needs. Busy moms, doctors, lawyers, we work with it all. And diabetics, heart problems, we do it all. We do the rehabs for the chiropractors, so we have a vast knowledge of anatomy. You're not going to get injured. We're going to keep you from getting hurt, and therefore you're going to be able to do this long term. And we'd love to work with you. You can check us out at www.aboveandbeyondphysiques.com. If you want to look at some personal information about me, you can look at freakyfreddysmalls.com. We're here for you. You can Facebook me. We can teach you to do the biggie way.
Fred, I want to thank you very much for this interview, man. I thank you very much, and keep tuned in to Wize Shabazz Xtreme Fitness. We're going to keep bringing you the best in fitness, the best in motivation, the best in inspiration, so that you can be the best possible you that you can be. Peace and love, people.